And welcome to another episode of Bill Has Opinions, your can't miss Bill shit. I am Laura Lavoie, and I'm here with Bill Perkins.
Hey there.
Who has opinions?
Yeah.
Welcome. How have you been?
I've been all right. I mean, you know, the horrors persist, but so do I.
Yeah.
As I like to say.
Yeah, I mean.
Listen, it doesn't affect me personally, but I feel for other people. And so it does affect me. It affects me mentally. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't affect. It hasn't come to roost on me yet, but
right,
you know how it is. Just fucking reading it all the time, you're just infuriated at like the nonsense, the constant nonsense. So,
right,
which is the idea. I understand.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
It's for you to be just so bombarded that eventually you just go, you know, I can't even.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing. Like, right, what makes us human. And possibly different from a lot of conservatives is that we care about things that don't directly affect us.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It doesn't directly affect me that people are losing their jobs on the, on the federal level, but I definitely care. I
mean, it sort of will.
I
enjoy the national parks. I go to the Parkway during the summertime and go to, so that affects me. And having my mail delivered to my house affects me.
That's something I would like to continue.
There's probably some tertiary like stuff that I don't even know if it affects me yet, but I'll find out of it. I mean, listen, I work for a company that has a lot of contracts with a lot of different things, and some of them are government contracts, and some of them are big contracts with universities and shit like that. And while those aren't directly federal government funded, they're kind of federal government funded. So eventually it's going to trickle down to that shit too.
Oh yeah.
And so we've probably lost the federal government contracts for agencies that we supplied things to. We will probably eventually lose some university contracts because if students aren't getting their fucking financial aid, then that university is going to go belly up.
Right.
And they're going to cancel their contracts or they're going to try and cut some costs. If they don't go belly up, you know what I'm saying? Like they're going, oh, well, we don't need fucking, paper towel holders that are printed with our university logo on them or whatever,
Right. Yeah, no, I'm thinking about that too, because, I can pick and choose my clients, but like I work with some farm clients, and right now, government farm subsidies are a problem,
exactly. So,
and all kinds of things. So yeah, I mean, it definitely is. And I work with automotive companies, and that's gonna be
and then they've also got the tariff thing to worry about because maybe they've got some supplies that come from somewhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a bunch of shit in flux, and it could eventually affect you. And who knows yet, where it's going to pinch you or whatever, and you don't know about it.
Exactly. Well,
so that, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's about how I am right now too. So,
I mean, I'm still in wait and see mode, really, but I don't like, wait and see mode makes everybody anxious, right? Like, if nobody likes that. You like to know shit, it's almost like, you know what I mean? Like you'd rather just know a thing than have to sit around and guess. Is it going to be this bad or that bad? Who knows?
No, and that's I've been trying to get involved as much as I can. It's hard to tell right now how to get involved again because it's just so fast and furious that
I don't yet know what to do about what. So I'm just kind of like.
But by trying, I think community is the one thing that'll kind of keep us going.
Sure. There's definitely that. Yeah. Try to support people as much as I can.
Yeah, absolutely, Bill. Yeah, the CDC limbo. And also, by the way, I would prefer the CDC to be a
Oh yeah. That's another thing I'm a little bit antsy about. I gotta go get my second shingles shot this week because I'm not gonna wait for them to tell me I can't have it.
Yeah, I turned 50 at the end of March.
And
I don't know. I have to find out will they give it to me a little bit early? But then there's the 2-shot situation, and like,
it's like
oh my god,
3 months apart or something. I got my first one, we're back like I don't remember what, like before the holidays or something. So it's time for me to get my second one, but I'm gonna go try and get it Friday, I think. Before any of this shit trickles down to the local pharmacies where they say, hey, nobody's getting any goddamn vaccines anymore.
Yeah, because vaccines are illegal. We're not doing that. Absolutely.
So
yeah, RSV. My sister just got her RSV shot today.
I didn't know you could get RSV shots.
Oh yeah, but not until you're 60.
Oh god. Okay.
Right, exactly. So we're just gonna get.
I did tell my son. I told him, hey, go get your HPV or whatever the fuck, because you're young and you could take care of that now and not have to fucking worry about it, right?
Right. Do it right now. Well, why don't we just get right into headlines because the world's on fire. So I think the main headline we want to talk about today is the justify your job email.
Yeah.
So
that's some crazy shit. I was just telling Laura right before the show. I've got a friend who's in a government agency, and you probably to catch you all up in case you don't know what we're talking about. There was no, we didn't
talk about our beer. We're not drinking anything fancy.
Copper from Mecklenburg, Old Mecklenburg Brewery, and I've got
the lighthearted IPA from BillSh. Anyway,
we've talked about these before.
Yeah, that's why we didn't.
You can search.
All right, and so anyway, you've got a friend that's on the chopping block.
She's on the chopping block. She says as of today, she's still kind of in limbo, doesn't know what's up. But they were instructed not to respond to that stupid Elon Musk email thing about. So here's the thing. Yeah, there was an email sent out that said basically send 5 bullet points of what you did last week to kind of justify your position. And if you don't respond to it, then you're ostensibly resigning.
Yeah, a non-response will be considered a resignation.
And this is the biggest. So to me, this is a big pile of horseshit because I know technically a corporate job could do this too, and sometimes corporate jobs do this. They make you like interview for your own position kind of thing.
Or when your boss calls you into the office and says, "So what have you been working on lately?" You're about to get canned.
Yeah. I'll tell you another thing. If you ever see that book, if they ever hand out copies of Who Moved My Cheese, cheese is about to get moved. That's what tells. Or what color is my parachute?
Yeah,
you ain't got no parachute. It's time to go ahead and get your resume ready, though.
You're in free fall. Yeah, Bill, I know you don't work for the government, so I know. So you know that there is the HR email.
Oh yeah, I did follow up with that.
You did, yes.
I did. I told the first thing I did this week. Your mom. I don't really actually remember the other things I said, but I did say that.
Yeah, exactly. Saturday evening with a deadline of 11:59. Exactly. And also the part that makes this extra stupid is that Musk took to Twitter and polled Twitter and said, "Hey, should I ask people to justify their jobs via email?" And apparently all the Zwitters, all the
all the dickheads on the internet.
We're like, yeah, of course you should. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Herp or derp.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Best response. Not as much ketamine as you. That's good shit. No, that's absolutely true. Yeah, so this is such bullshit. And don't comply.
Yeah, they should say that. What did you do this week? Ketamine, hair plugs, jawline surgery.
I left my son on stage at CPAC without paying any attention to him.
Exactly.
And he's only 4.
Forgot all about him.
Forgot I had a son.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So everything's just fucking insane. So it's all this rapid fire, right? Everything's like, here's this.
Right.
And that's on purpose. It's to overwhelm us.
Yeah. Steve Bannon has basically outlined that. He said it several times over the last couple of years that this was on purpose. That you just put the news feed can only handle one thing at a time.
Our brains can,
and our brains essentially also. Yeah. So if you pop them with 5 or 6 crazy shits every day, like they can only focus on one damn thing.
Exactly.
And probably they'll focus on that for a couple of days, and in the meantime, you just keep rapid firing nonsense, and we'll get overwhelmed, and we'll just be like, well, I don't know what else going on,
Right.
And I mean, I get it, and even anybody who's trying to respond to it can only respond to so much at a time. It's like it's as if, say, you were a California firefighter, and there was a fire you were working on, and then suddenly there's 5 more fires popping up behind you. What the fuck are you supposed to do about this shit,
Exactly. So among the other bullshit things, right, the U.S. Postal Service, I think most of us were hopeful when the postmaster guy would leave. Nobody's liked him for years, except now the reason he's leaving, is that Trump wants to completely privatize it.
Yeah.
Move mail basically to all the private shipping companies.
Well, I can tell you from my experience with FedEx that ain't a fucking good idea, because they just throw that shit in the woods somewhere and send me a picture of it beside a tree, and they're like, "Hey, we delivered your thing," and I'm like, "Did you though?"
Yeah, I do not trust them to deliver mail, like letters or bills. Because, our FedEx guy, I mean, he finds us because we're on a relatively easy to find street.
Sure, you're on a street that's like half a block.
Right, but they have like, it's like they're in the shot put in the Olympics.
Yeah.
They will stand as far away from our porch as possible and throw it.
Yeah.
And we work from home, so we watch it happen every time.
Right. Yeah, no. So like I said, they don't even get anywhere near my house with my parcels. They just like leave them somewhere. Send me a picture, say it was delivered, and I have to go out and go on a fucking like
right, because it's in front of a tree.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna go for a hike.
Let's go find that tree.
Let's go see where my fucking parcel's at.
Right. And I have heard people specifically say, I'm not saying to necessarily what's the word I'm looking for, to not to praise Trump in his ability to be a president, but to justify it. He's a CEO, so he's going to treat the country like a company. Which, first of all, don't do that.
Yeah.
It's
not that.
Right. It's not to be like,
everything's not for profit.
Right. And what he's kind of trying to do is sell it off for like when companies acquire other companies and sell those companies off for parts.
Yeah,
that's kind of what's happening right now, and this is
not. Probably going to give Mitt Romney a job. I mean, I know he hates the guy, but that's what the guy did. Mm-hmm. He's all about that kind of shit, like taking something, chopping up, sell off the parts.
I seriously think about like alternate universes wherein Mitt Romney became our president when he was running, and I'm like, that would have been better. Like it would have changed.
It would have changed the trajectory.
It
would have been a kinder, gentler kind of conservatism.
It would have been something. Yeah, it wouldn't be like J6 people and the fucking FBI. I sent you the two. I didn't bring my phone in.
Yeah,
I sent you the 2 tweets. One from the deputy director of the FBI, and one from the new director of the FBI. And they're
both crazy pants.
They're literally word salad tweets.
I mean, fucking Kash Patel. Listen, that guy is hawking fucking pills that are supposed to undo the vaccine or some shit. Like it'll get the G6 out of your system or whatever the fuck.
Whatever, yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck even? I wouldn't take anything this motherfucker gives me. Like,
Lou, I'd rather get a lot more vaccines.
Is it important? Yeah, I would take all the vaccines you'll get. I will do that. Like, honest to God, if the pharmacy's like, hey, we got new vaccines, I'm down there to get them. I'm all about them.
Mm-hmm.
They got heavy metals in them. Great.
Yes.
I don't give a shit.
Just inject straight mercury
I'm
into my.
60-something years old. Do you think I give a fuck how crazy I go?
You're not 60-some years old, right?
I said 50-some.
Oh, you did say 50-some. I heard 60.
Okay, well, whatever.
Also, I'm about to turn 50, so I could be not. 50.
I don't give a fuck how crazy I get at this point.
Right, exactly.
Like, how cuckoo pants am I going to get off with a little bit of mercury I'm getting out of a vaccine?
Well, yeah, exactly. Whatever. And very quickly before we take a quick break and move on to something a little more fun.
Okay.
Is I told you about today because you're like, I'm not watching everything because I can't watch everything.
Yeah.
But the governor of Maine, Janet Mills, she took a fucking stand.
Oh, yeah?
It was the Trump press conference for the bipartisan group of governors.
Uh-huh.
And like it was literally like neeny boo boo, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you need to comply with what we have to say, which, by the way, what he was talking about was the no trans girls in women's sports, which, by the way, affects like
17 people in the whole fucking country.
In the whole country.
Yeah.
And especially in children's sports, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Like children's sports, everybody's on an even playing field anyway. It doesn't matter what your gender identity is.
They're all just they're all at left field picking their nose anywho. Nobody's winning a fucking game.
Exactly. So but he's like, you've got to comply or else we won't give you any federal funding. Like literally, like we're gonna take our toys and go home and you're gonna suffer. And all she just stood up and just said, I will see you in court.
Yeah.
And I hope that more people
that's it.
Do stuff like that.
Sign up. Goddamn fucking Tom Tillis.
Oh my God.
What a fucking weak ass motherfucker that guy is, right?
Of course.
Did you get the email from him?
Tom Tillis? Yeah, I'm sure I did, but
so he sends me this email last weekend, I think, about how he went over to Ukraine to visit. And he's like, oh my God, the shit it's heartbreaking, the shit they're dealing with. And blah, blah, blah. And Vladimir Putin's a horrible person and what they're doing is terrible.
Right.
And then he comes right back over here and I'm like, but are you going to do something about it?
Exactly.
Are you, because like you sound like you give a fuck, but you don't. Like you're not going to spine up and do anything, are you?
Right. Because your president has said, oh, but Putin.
We love him. We love the guy. Fuck it.
Putin's our favorite.
And so now Tom Tillis is like, he's sent me this email saying this is how he feels about the whole situation. But to what end? Like, who gives a fuck? Like, this is like the Democrats on climate change, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this is important. We should probably do something.
Yeah.
We're not gonna.
No. But all right, so let's take a quick break. Once again, tell people to buy our merch. We have merch, and you can scan this QR code. You can buy T-shirts, or you can buy our line of Stay Shitty art. Which you can purchase in all kinds of formats, including pictures and mugs and T-shirts and whatever else you want.
I think in the next week or two, I'm going to roll out some new stuff.
Are you?
Yeah, I got some ideas.
All right. Well, I make them.
I'll run them past you. I'll send them to you, and you'll see what you think.
All right, I'm in. We can make some new shit. I'm all for it. Right. But they Stay Shitty merchandise. Get your favorites. I bought. Which is extra funny, but I bought Bill, as you can see here, the one with the squid wearing the captain's hat.
It's in my bathroom. It's been there since Christmas.
Matey. I'm very pleased that you have that in your bathroom. And there's you can't really see the Stay Shitty, my lady. There's actually a bat, but you can't really see it in this picture because he's hanging upside down in the corner. But anyway, go buy some merch. Yeah. You won't regret it.
And stay shitty.
Yeah. Stay shitty. My good noble. Stay shitty, everybody. That line fits because our new tagline is "Can't miss BillSh."
Yeah,
so it kind of fits.
Okay, we should just put shit in everything.
That's true.
Okay, that's gonna make me rewrite the thing I had in my mind.
Oh no,
but it'll be okay. It's gonna work out. It's fine. I'll send you some ideas this week. Okay.
All right. So for our BillSh segment this week, we actually had an actual request.
Yeah. Last week we had a new viewer ask us how he felt about the SNL50 program that came on, and we hadn't seen it as of last airing, but since then we both sat down and watched all the segments.
Yep.
I think I saw them all because I watched it on YouTube, and YouTube does break them up in individual segments, and so I tried to put my best to put them back together and watch them in the order they were intended to be seen in. But who knows? Maybe I missed a thing. We'll see.
Well, we'll see.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. I figured this vaguely. I actually made a new one, but I didn't want to use that today. But I figured it fits in with BillSh nicely. Yeah. The Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary which I love very much because Saturday Night Live and I were born in the same year.
Oh wow, yeah.
So
that's crazy.
exciting.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
1975, motherfuckers.
Yeah. So that means you'll be 50 this year also.
I will in like
which you just said.
A month.
Which you said.
I did. I did
earlier in the show.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, if things turning 50 this year, things that were born in 1975.
Yeah, it does. It tends to happen that way.
It does work that way. Yes.
So yeah, do you have? I wrote down my favorite things. Do you want to talk about these things, or do you have ones you want to mention first?
No, those were the things I liked the most.
I think they were.
Yeah.
My
first favorite thing was Black Jeopardy, which is a hilarious bit. And it was hilarious on two accounts because one, Eddie Murphy.
Oh my God,
as Tracy Morgan.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy as Tracy Morgan, while Tracy Morgan is standing next
right
to him,
beside him,
playing someone else. But Tracy Morgan, I love Tracy Morgan, but he can never be anyone but Tracy Morgan.
It's
like
true.
He does not have. He doesn't have. He just is just one speed.
Yeah, he's got like Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, but Eddie Murphy's Tracy Jordan was so fucking on point. Like he was seriously like, oh my God, his impersonation of Tracy Morgan
hilarious, yes.
was awesome. And it was extra funny, I think, because of the history with Eddie Murphy and that he's been on the show for so long and that he can still do something that's funny enough like oh yeah, that one. Absolutely. So that's funny enough where he's impersonating someone that came on SNL after him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's totally it's the whole oh my God, it was so
that
funny.
was great stuff. And then of course reprise from Doug.
Right. Yeah,
Tom Hanks as Doug
with his "Make America Great Again" hat.
Yeah,
and
the best part was when
what's his name? The guy from Good
Keenan comes over to take his hand and he kind of flinches.
Yeah, he's like, no, it's okay. Oh my God, it was so funny. It was so funny. Yeah, and also that Leslie Jones could not stop laughing.
Yes.
Like she was breaking character the entire time, particularly with Eddie Murphy and Tracy Jordan.
Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Jordan was a character on 30 Rock, which they actually did that joke because they were talking about they're like
this is a show that ran for a while and it had
Tracy Jordan, you were on there, or Tracy Morgan, you were on there with Tina Fey, and Eddie Murphy buzzes in and says 30 Rock because it's true. Oh my God, it was so funny. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Right. And then my second favorite one was Alien Abductions.
Yes, I think I'm with you on that.
Because it had it had only two actual like former SNL real cast members, right?
Yeah.
And then otherwise had
John Hamm
and Pedro Pascal and Woody Harrelson.
Right.
And then brought in fucking Meryl Streep.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh my God. And it was just like this whole bit about getting abducted by aliens and how they were treating the women differently than the men. And oh my God, it was just, there were so many lines that were so funny.
Well, I mean, and Kate McKinnon's always freaking hilarious. And that, I mean, I'm not going to say that was one of my favorite bits she ever did. My favorite thing she ever did was during COVID when she was doing the cat thing. Remember that?
Yeah.
But she's hilarious anyway, and that was one of her signature bits recurring bits that she did was the alien abduction thing.
Right.
Yeah. So that was great.
And Meryl Streep as Colleen Sr. Oh my God. Right. We have, I mean, Meryl Streep has recently been in Only Murders in the Building, but we think of her as a very serious, multi-Oscar winning actor. Yeah. And cats are we. But she came in. It was hilarious too, because she couldn't keep a straight face during that either. And she kept cracking up. Right. Which I love. When FML characters crack up. Because
one of my favorite all-time bits I'm going to talk about for a sec is back in the day when Phil Hartman, Kevin Nealon, And John Lovitz used to do the Frankenstein,
Right.
Tonto, and Tarzan bits.
Uh-huh.
And there was one where they were on a like a news program where they were just asking them questions and asking them to respond to it. And when Phil Hartman went to go fire him, Brad, he started snickering, and everybody in the fucking room lost it. And it was one of my favorite bits because everybody broke character over it, you know, because he couldn't say fire bad without laughing.
Exactly. Yeah, no, but yes, the alien abductions and Pedro Pascal. I mean, Woody Harrelson, plenty funny, but to be fair, Woody Harrelson playing like a redneck is not that big a stretch, or like a stoned redneck. It's not that big. Yeah, not that big a stretch.
100% what he like. Him and Matthew McConaughey are that guy.
Exactly. They are also the same guy.
Actually, did you hear the theory that they might be brothers?
Yeah, I totally heard that.
Because Woody's dad got around or something.
Yeah, I
might have hooked up with Matthew McConaughey's mom at some point.
I have heard that. Yeah. And oh yeah, absolutely, you're right. There were many people missing from the show. Dan Aykroyd wasn't there. Bill Hader wasn't there.
And Kevin Nealon,
Kevin Nealon wasn't there. There were a bunch. There were a bunch of people that weren't there.
Those are the ones that come to mind, but I'm sure there's plenty more.
Oh, yeah.
I was surprised at some of the ones who were there, though. I was very, very pleasantly surprised. Jason Sudeikis. I can't ever say his fucking last name. He was in 2 skits.
Right.
Hilarious.
Right.
Will Forte. Yes.
And I didn't put it on the list because I actually do not care for him, but Adam Sandler did one of his little songs.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And I'm not a big fan of Adam Sandler.
Although I'm not a big fan of Adam Sandler. However, I will say he choked me up when he got to the part about Chris Farley. And I was like,
yeah, I mean, that's fair.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's
because goddamn Chris Farley, you know.
Yeah. Now,
oh my God.
One of my other favorites, and you might imagine why this would have been one of my favorites.
Okay.
Was the New York City the musical?
Sure. Does it have anything to do because it was musical?
I mean, that's part of it. Like it started out when they started out with the Fame, but the Shame song, and it was fucking Adam Driver in a hot dog suit.
Like, he was from the hot dog and heroin stand.
Hot dog and heroin stand. Yeah, and Maya Rudolph was the heroine. And the way he was singing his little dance, oh my God, I was dying. And I didn't even realize at that point it was going to be a whole musical. I'm like,
you didn't figure because it's John Mulaney, and every time he was on, they did a musical.
I wasn't a big fan at the time when he was on, so.
But he always had a musical number.
Yeah, like I didn't watch.
And you didn't watch those. You didn't go back and watch all the John Mulaney musical numbers.
I wasn't. Yeah, I mean that was like the era that I wasn't watching.
You never ordered lobster at a diner.
But they had the lobster in that bit, which I thought was extra hilarious.
Exactly.
Absolutely. But so
you never used the bathroom at the bodega. You don't remember those?
I did not watch SNL during that period of time. I kind of stopped watching after the era of Dana Carvey.
I didn't. Yeah,
Mike Myers.
I am a big fan of the stuff you're talking about. Those are my heydays. However, I will say whenever he was on, I knew that was going to be a good episode because they would do like this huge musical number.
But it was so funny. So they start with that, and then they keep going. And
my God. The Nathan Lane part where the what was it, the
cocaine and vodka, right? And it's to the tune of Hakuna Matata, and they're like, Disney's gonna love this. And still at that point, I didn't realize it was gonna be a whole actual musical.
Yeah,
like because you're like Fame, whatever, you know, Hakuna Matata, and it's Nathan Lane, whatever. It was right after that I was like, holy shit, because then they started the Les Mis bit.
Yes,
they brought that all in, and then Jesus Christ, doing
Superstar.
Yes, and specifically though, Kate McKinnon as Giuliani,
right?
And with Lin-Manuel Miranda doing "I Am Throwing Away My Shot." That's when I lost it. That was the moment that I was like, "Holy shit!" Okay. All right, here we are. Well, because that was preceded.
That's when you got on board.
Well, it was preceded right before that by Jason Sudeikis and Will Forte doing Les Mis.
Right. Yes.
And that bit was so funny because they were in the audience.
Right. But they were doing like old school Times Square versus new school Times Square.
But they were actually in the audience, and who was between? It was Jenna Ortega and someone else. Someone else we know that was like between them.
Right.
They knew between them while they were singing, and they're like closing in on them the whole time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the funny things was watching some of the uncomfortable celebrity. Like, they would pan every now and again to the entire, and then the whole room was like full of celebrities who all didn't get a speaking part.
Right.
But it was crazy. Like Kevin Costner, what the fuck was he doing?
Yeah, exactly.
He was just there sitting beside Cher. Who did get a line, but
wrote one line. Yes,
one line, yes,
absolutely. But that musical was so funny, and it just and then the group number at the end. Oh my God, it was absolutely perfect.
That was good stuff,
and the framing of it was pretty funny. Like I don't really know much about what's his name, Pete. The guy with the tattoos who doesn't have the tattoos. Pete Davidson. I don't know a ton about him. I certainly have not watched him on really any SNL. But even his bit in that bit was pretty funny.
I like Pete. I like Pete a lot. Actually. And I think he's funny as fuck. Actually, this is unrelated to the SNL thing, but the other day I saw a clip of Pete Davidson at the roast of Adam Sandler. And he had one of the best bits. He said, "Thank you so much for being one of the few comedians over 50 who I don't have a clue what your opinion on trans people is."
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. All right, and then you wrote down here the Scared Straight skit.
Yeah, I just like it because Jason Sudeikis.
I
can't get his name out of my mouth lately. Okay, yes, Jason Sudeikis. Sudoku. Jason Sudoku. And I mean, he was great. And then of course reprised Eddie Murphy's in it.
Right.
Fucking Keenan. I love Keenan. Keenan's hilarious. God, he's been on there. How long has he been on there? He's been on there his whole life, right?
It feels like it because he was also on Keenan and Kel as a kid, which was basically and all that. Which were basically like Saturday Night Live for children.
Yes, and then once he aged out of it, like once he turned like 14, he's been on SNL ever since, right? Oh my God, like just good. Like I didn't love the skit, honestly. The Scared Straight.
Yeah, I didn't love
the skit, but I liked watching him react to the other shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I don't know how to explain it, but it was like some of it was just that. Like
right.
It was a silly, stupid skit. And then of course Will Ferrell came out and started just eating the scenery like he does.
Like he does, yeah.
Which I'm not a Will Ferrell fan, to be straight with you. I don't love the guy.
No, I don't either.
I mean, I like him as a person.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to have a beer with him.
He'd be great to hang out with, but I don't want to watch his fucking comedy.
Exactly. 100%.
Like he's never made me laugh.
Exactly. Right. And he did.
He made me uncomfortable, but he's never made me laugh.
Right.
And that's all he did was he came out and was like fucking weird.
Yeah. Exactly. But before we close the show, I do want to mention the musical guest, and I had two favorites.
Mm-hmm.
There were only three like musical things, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
And the two that I liked, the Paul Simon and Sabrina Carpenter. Paul Simon came out, man. He is not young. He did not start that song out great. He did kind of find his way a little bit in the middle.
Yeah, it got better. It did get better. He just had to warm up,
Yeah, but Sabrina Carpenter killed it.
I had to say, I was telling you before the show, my first reaction was, why is this girl out here with him? And then he started to sing. I was like, oh, I see why. She's here to carry the song, because poor guy, he's, what is he, 78?
He's, something. I looked it up actually while we were watching. I don't know. I can't remember.
Old as hell. Anyway, he doesn't sound like Paul Simon anymore. And,
right.
And he can't carry the tune. And so I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was. It was so nostalgic, and it was, and Sabrina Carpenter killed it. I thought
she did do a good job, but I was actually impressed because up to this point I had not. Her actual music is so overproduced. I didn't know that she could actually sing until I heard this. So there was that, right? Like I had that going for it. And then the other performance though, there was no doubt going into it. I was like, this is gonna rock us. This is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
You know,
Miley Cyrus and Brittany Howard doing "Nothing Compares to You," which was both that they did the Prince arrangement, but it was also a nod to Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah, I had a friend who said when this aired, I remember he posted, Miley Cyrus has the opportunity to do the funniest fucking thing on earth right now.
And tear up a picture of, I would think Trump would be
sure.
choice.
Let's fight the real enemy. Yeah,
exactly.
but they kept it solemn, which is fine.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, absolutely.
And I think it was also kind of a nod to Sinead to be, hey, here's a thing.
Exactly. Make it serious. But she, I mean, I'm not necessarily a huge Miley fan. I mean, I think she's good, but it's not like I listen to her on the regular.
Yeah.
But she sounded amazing. And
I actually like Miley Cyrus,
right.
but I like her more as a person than as an artist. But however, I do think she has talent. Like I'm never.
She sounded great.
I've never questioned her talent. The only thing that annoys me about her is she did have that big. I guess she had a hit last year, but in recent years, though, like 90% of the shit that I hear from her that I like is covers, and then I kind of think, oh God, is she just a cover artist? Right. So,
but I thought Brittany Howard.
Oh yeah,
absolutely blew me away, and she had not really been on my radar. I knew who the Alabama Shakes were, but I'd never really listened to them, so I never paid attention.
Right.
But she blew me away, and she sounded. Yeah. I mean, she played guitar and sang, and it was very Prince-esque.
Yeah,
and it was so good. And I've been listening to
everybody who was watching, who's a Brittany Howard fan, said she was holding back. Like, say she was trying to not outdo Miley.
I mean, if that was holding back,
which I can kind of see. But they said actually that she could have gone like full crazy on that whole thing.
I bet she could have. Absolutely. I absolutely bet she could have.
Yeah, no, it was a beautiful performance though. It really was.
So, I mean, that's some good news.
So if you haven't seen that, go back and it's on YouTube. Go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah, I watched it because we have Peacock currently because I'm watching something else on it. So I watched it all basically as aired.
I did not watch the SNL concert, which also
I did not watch that
air, but I figured I only had enough time in the week for the one thing, really.
Exactly.
I saw a piece or two from it. I saw Future Islands. Is that the name of the group?
Yeah, I didn't see theirs. I didn't know they played on it.
Yeah, they did
They're going to be here in town soon.
Not Future Island. Sorry, what's Lonely Island?
Oh, I don't know that.
I get that's the Andy Samberg from when he would do like his little pop music bits. I jizzed in my pants or whatever the fuck. That they did a little performance so they had the show the 50th anniversary show. They also had a 50th anniversary concert. There was a bunch of musical guests from back in the day.
Because I knew that I saw a bit of the Eddie Vedder one.
Okay, yeah.
And I thought that was the actual special, but
they had that thing,
right?
And it also had musical people, but then it also had SNL musical vignettes.
Gotcha.
And that was one of the. I saw a little bit of that, but I didn't watch the whole thing.
Gotcha. I'm on a boat.
Yeah, I'm on a boat. That thing.
Absolutely. All right. So, real quick before we leave, right before the show, yesterday, before the show, yesterday.
That's before the show.
Yeah. I sent you a text and said, that just said chili or stew.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
And that was it. That was
there was no context.
There was no context.
Chili or stew. And I don't know how long it took me to respond, but I saw it eventually and I said, chili.
All right. And it was mostly because usually we had pizza. Long story short, we had pizza like 2 nights ago, so I didn't want pizza.
She only eats pizza once a week, apparently.
I mean, maybe a couple of, but yeah, not. I mean, we just had.
I can eat. I'll eat pizza 3 or 4 days in a row. I don't give a fuck. Like I can have pizza here, and I go home and I'm looking in the freezer, and Emily's like, "What's for dinner?" And I'm like, "Well, you can have this, or you can have pizza." And she's like, "Pizza," and I'm like, "Okay." I don't give a fuck. Well, it's fine with me.
But I didn't want pizza, so I sent you, and I wanted to make something in the crock pot just so that it was easy.
Yeah, okay.
And I said chili or stew, and you eventually responded with chili. But now I think that chili or stew is like an important sociological or psychological evaluation.
Okay.
And my theory being, right, like stew in general is going to be approximately the same. People make stew. It's going to have beef. It's going to have potatoes and carrots, maybe some other vegetables. It's going to have kind of a gravy situation. It's going to be mostly the same every time you have it, give or take.
You feel like it's mostly going to be basically like the fillings from shepherd's pie.
Yeah, like a pot roast situation.
Okay.
Right. So most of the time. But chili, every single person on this planet has their own chili recipe. So it's a much bigger gamble to agree to chili when someone else is making it.
We'll see what we're getting. I mean, I said chili, and I'm gonna roll the dice, and we'll see what we get. You know. Also, people serve chili over different things. Some people serve chili over rice.
Oh, I know people
in Cincinnati. They serve it over pasta.
They do.
And some people serve chili over cornbread or beans or whatever the fuck.
Well,
different shit.
My chili is made with beans. I don't serve it over anything, but you can definitely have cheese and sour cream. And I also have Fritos to eat with it.
Frito, chili pie.
I mean, you could throw you could do whatever you
want. If you put the Fritos on the bottom, then it's chili pie.
That's true.
I eat chili all the ways. Here's the thing. I'm the kind of person where I don't get like very roped into like, this is only one way to do this thing. You know, like I like chili pie. I like Cincinnati 5 way. I like fucking chili on rice. I like chili every way you fucking serve it. So that's why when you said chili or stew, I'm like, chili, and I don't give a fuck what chili means to you. You know, we'll sort it out. Like I'll be surprised.
So yes, actually what I like on chili, like instead of Fritos, what I really like are the cracker flavored goldfish.
Cracker flavored. Oh,
the unflavored goldfish.
Yeah. They're like oyster crackers, but they're goldfish.
But they're less dense than an oyster cracker.
Yeah, I get you.
But I haven't found them in the store in years.
I was saying this a year or so ago to Emily. I was like, I remember when I was a kid, like goldfish were cheddar, cracker, and pretzel.
Yeah, that was it.
That was the one you got.
Absolutely.
And I haven't seen the cracker ones in goddamn forever.
Absolutely. No, me neither. And I used to buy them specifically to put on chili.
Yeah, they were because they were kind of like oyster crackers, but not quite.
Yeah, because the oyster crackers are really dense.
Like
really
dense.
They
like made the oyster crackers and they sat them outside and let them get stale. And then put them in a bag.
Yes, and then made them, Pepperidge Farm. Exactly. Yeah, I can't find them anywhere. All right,
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
They always do. But all right, folks, I think we are done for today. So, Bill, why don't you take us away?
All right, Bill Has Opinions is engineered and produced by Laura Lavoie. The opinions of Bill are his and his alone, unless Laura agreed with him, or vice versa. I think we pretty much agreed on things tonight. We even like the same skits on that thing. Mm-hmm. Anyways, be sure to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. #OpinionGang and or Can't Miss BillSh if you got a question, comment, concern, idea for future show. I don't know, just something else, piece of merchandise you want to see. Whatever. I'm going to have some new merchandise this week. I'm going to send some ideas to her, and we'll have some new things to hawk to you next time. Be sure to tune in. That'll be the following Monday because that's when we're on.
Yeah.
And we'll see you then, hopefully. Anyway, have a good week. As good a week as one can have.
In the fall of democracy.
Yes. Enjoy your fall of democracy.
All right, everybody, have fun.